Hi, welcome to my eye information channel. My name is Chris and I'm a practicing optometrist in the UK. You probably know at least one person who can't see colours as well as other people can and wonders why this is. So in this video I'm going to show you where colour vision comes from, what causes colour vision defects and where these defects come from. Okay, first a few words about how the eye works. The eye's focusing system consists of the retina, which is the light-sensitive film on the back of the eye, the cornea and the lens, which between them focus light that enters the eye onto the retina. The light that enters the eye comes in a range of different wavelengths, which the brain perceives as different colours. Longer wavelength light is perceived by the brain as red or orange, shorter wavelength light is perceived as blue or violet, and mid-range wavelength light is perceived as green or yellow. You'll notice on this diagram that just off the red end of the scale is infrared light, which is used for thermal imaging, and just off the blue end of the scale is ultraviolet or UV light, which is what causes sunburns. Now you may find this next part quite surprising, but colour does not objectively exist. Neither the things you look at nor the light rays that emanate from them are themselves coloured. Colour is simply a psychological phenomenon that your brain creates in response to different wavelengths of light. So how does this work? Well, the retina on the back of the eye contains three different types of colour photoreceptors, which are known as cones. There is also a fourth type of photoreceptor, which are called rods, but these are only responsible for night vision and play no part in colour vision, so they're beyond the scope of this video. Okay, the first photoreceptor type, which we will call the red type, responds most strongly to red light, but less strongly to green light, and less strongly still to blue light. Now, just a quick note, I have already said that the rays themselves are not coloured, but for the sake of simplicity, in this video, I'll refer to light as red, green, or blue light, rather than having to constantly refer to the wavelength. Okay, the second type of receptor, which we will call the green type, responds most strongly to green light, but less strongly to red or blue light. And the third type, which we will call the blue receptor type, responds most strongly to blue light, but less strongly to green and less strongly still to red light. When light is focused onto your retina, the brain looks at the responses of each of these photoreceptors and uses the three combined responses to determine what the wavelength of the light is, and then creates the appropriate colour for that wavelength in your vision. Colour vision defects occur when one or more of these photoreceptor types either isn't there or is there but doesn't work correctly. If the red receptor type is absent or present but defective, or the green receptor type is absent or present but defective, this will lead to what's known as red-green colour blindness, where the person is unable to distinguish reds and greens. This is by far the most common form of colour vision defect and makes up almost all cases that are inherited from the parents. Defects where the blue receptor type is absent or present but defective are less common but do happen, and they tend to be acquired through traumatic brain injury rather than being inherited from the parents. Total colour blindness occurs when two of the receptor types are absent or present but defective. In the example shown here, the red and green types are absent, but any two can be absent or defective. When this happens, the brain only has the response of one photoreceptor type to work with, so it doesn't have enough information to determine the wavelength of any light entering the eye. So this person will see everything in different shades of grey, as if they were constantly watching an old black and white movie. The way colour vision is tested by a high street optometrist is by using something called the Ishihara test. You may have seen this done. The optician will show you a series of plates which each has a circle of coloured dots with a number in it and ask you what the number is. In the example you can see here, there is a number 6 made of red and orange dots on a background of green and black dots. That is what a person with full colour vision will see. A person with a red or green receptor defect will not be able to distinguish the red and orange dots from the green ones, so they will not see a number. A person with a blue receptor defect will be able to see the 6, but it will appear pink rather than red, and the green dots in the background will appear grey or light blue. A person with total colour blindness will only see a circle of grey dots, nothing more. I've already said that the vast majority of colour vision defects are inherited from the parents, so now let's go through how this happens. Human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes. One of each pair is inherited from the mother and the other is inherited from the father. The chromosome that determines whether you are male or female is called the XY chromosome. Girls have two X chromosomes, one from the mother and one from the father. Boys have an X and a Y chromosome, an X from the mother and a Y from the father, and the X also contains all of the person's colour vision information. For these illustrations, we will use X to represent a normal colour vision gene or chromosome, and X dash to represent a defective colour vision gene or chromosome. A girl who has a normal colour vision gene and a defective colour vision gene will not have defective colour vision herself because her normal colour vision gene overrides her defective one, but she can pass the defective gene on to her children. This is what is meant by being a carrier. A boy who has a defective colour vision gene will have defective colour vision himself because there is nothing on his Y chromosome to override the colour defective X chromosome. For a girl to have a colour vision defect, she has to have two defective colour vision X chromosomes, one from the mother and one from the father. This is why colour vision defects are more common in boys than they are in girls. So let's look at some scenarios. If we have a mother who is a carrier of a defective colour vision gene and a father with full colour vision, if these two have a daughter, she will inherit her father's normal colour vision X chromosome and one of her mother's X chromosomes. If she inherits her mother's full colour vision gene, she will have perfect colour vision genes herself. If she inherits her mother's defective colour vision gene, she will be a carrier of this gene, just like her mother and just like I explained previously. If these two have a son, he will inherit his father's Y chromosome and again one of his mother's X chromosomes. If he inherits his mother's full colour vision X chromosome, he will have full colour vision himself. But if he inherits his mother's defective colour vision chromosome, he will have a colour vision defect himself because, like I said before, there's nothing on his Y chromosome to override his colour defective X chromosome. If we have a mother with perfect colour vision genes and a father with defective colour vision, if these two have a daughter, she will always inherit her father's colour defective gene, but she will only be a carrier because she will inherit a normal colour vision gene from her mother. It doesn't matter which of the two genes she inherits from her mother, the result will still be the same. Similarly, if these two have a son, he will inherit his father's Y chromosome, so he will not inherit his father's defective colour vision, and he will have full colour vision because, again, he will inherit one of his mother's full colour vision genes. It doesn't matter which one, the result will still be the same. If we have a mother who is a carrier of a defective colour vision gene and a father with defective colour vision, if these two have a daughter, again she will inherit her father's colour defective gene. If she inherits her mother's full colour vision gene, she will be a carrier. But if she inherits her mother's colour defective gene, she will have a colour vision defect herself because she now has two colour defective X chromosomes. If these two have a son, he will inherit his father's Y chromosome, and again, if he inherits his mother's full colour vision X chromosome, he'll have full colour vision. If he inherits his mother's defective colour vision gene, he will have a colour vision defect himself. Other possible scenarios. First of all, the mother has a colour vision defect, but the father has full colour vision. In this case, the daughters will always be carriers of the colour vision defect gene, and the sons will always have a colour vision defect. And the final possible scenario, which is very unlikely, but still possible, is that both the mother and the father have a colour vision defect. In this case, all of their children will have that same colour vision defect. Now, a few things to note about colour vision inheritance. First of all, If a mother is colour defective, her sons will also be colour defective, and her daughters will always at least be carriers. It is not possible for a mother who has a colour vision defect to have a son who does not have a colour vision defect. Second, if a father is colour defective, he will always pass this colour defective gene on to his daughters, who will then at least be carriers of it, but he will not pass his defect on to his sons. Thirdly, if a woman's father is colour defective but she isn't, there is a 50-50 chance that each of her sons will have the same defect as her father, because again, she is definitely a carrier of her father's colour defective gene. 4. Your child's colour vision defect is not due to anything that you have done wrong or could have done differently. You really should not blame yourself. It is purely the lottery of genetics, nothing more. And lastly, people often wonder what, if any, impact a colour vision defect will have on someone's career prospects or general quality of life. This one can't really be answered with a blanket statement because every situation is unique. It depends on the severity of the colour vision defect, what types of career, the person is hoping to aim for, and various other things. The best advice there is to speak to your optician. I hope you found this video informative. If you want to see any more of my information videos, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.